there we meet Scorpio, Scorpio sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. This is a 2-week reading for all you Scorpios starting today, the 13th of November, 2024. I am reading today with this beautiful Marseille deck. They've colored it really beautifully. The company that makes this is called Fournier, or Fournier, I think they pronounce it. And I've already purified with this 4711 cologne, which is an old standby. You can find links to purchase each of these products right in the video description of this video on my YouTube channel. Let's see what's in the cards for all you gorgeous Scorpios. We start off with, oh, this guy wants to come up a lot today. King of Swords, followed by the Hermit card, followed by the Moon card. Okay, so this base reading is pretty good. You see how these guys are sort of looking at each other? What this Hermit is that inner guide. And the Hermit is trying to shine light on this King of Swords. The King of Swords is mean. It's just the meanest card in the deck. The King of Swords doesn't care about anything other than being mean. And it gives all kinds of justification to us as to why it's okay for us to be mean, and how people might deserve it, and how we're being even spiritually enlightened by being mean. But it's all nonsense. It's all just absolute nonsense. And the only reason why the King of Swords, this meanie of the tarot deck, is there is because of our own habitual thought patterns that allow the ego mind to do whatever it can do to try to prove to us how separate we are from good. Now, this Hermit card is trying to shine light on that for you so that you're not allowing this to go on in the dark. Because when you're not enlightened about the fact that it's happening, then you don't recognize that it's there. Once you recognize that it's there, you don't even have to do anything about it. It just disappears. Your awareness in and of itself takes care of it. So you heal by noticing. So when you're noticing this meanness in you, don't feel bad about yourself. Everybody's got that. Everybody's got the potential for that. Every single person on the planet has the potential for this. So when you notice it, celebrate the fact that you're noticing it, because you're ahead of the curve. You're dissolving that through your own awareness. You're making new choices by allowing yourself to be enlightened to those tendencies within you. And sometimes the King of Swords will show up as just a mean person, when you're yelling and screaming at somebody on the phone, in customer service. That can be the King of Swords. Then it's really obvious that that's what it is. But a lot of times he's not that obvious. A lot of times it's an attitude that you might even hold, against yourself. It's like that you hate yourself so much. That kind of thing, trying to convince you how much you hate yourself and doing it in a way that you never question it. And when you allow that lamp to be shined, you can say, I don't hate myself. I don't hate myself. I'm not going to buy into that. I'm not going to, even if I believe that I hated myself all my life, I recognize it's a lie. It's impossible to hate yourself, ultimately, because you were created out of perfect love. And so the real part of you is not only lovable, but loving. So it's impossible to hate anything or anyone, especially yourself, when you recognize who you really are. But this King of Swords is so pernicious that it can get all kinds of weird globs of negative thinking that we don't question, and we get these thought forms about ourselves that we believe. We believe we hate this person. We believe we hate ourselves. We believe so-and-so doesn't have a right to exist, or we think that we don't have a right to exist, whatever it is. But it's important to understand these things before they start to manifest. And that's what this Moon card is. It's saying you can handle all of the King of Swords as it comes up through that inner guidance of your inner teacher, so that you dissolve it before it has a chance to manifest. And that's what these next couple weeks are all about for you, Scorpio, is cutting off a lot of these these ego type thought forms before they have a chance to manifest. And that's wonderful. That means so much, that if once you can learn how to really to see inside yourself so clearly that you can heal the thought forms before they manifest. That's huge. That's a type of spiritual mastery. So good for you. All right, then we've got the Sun card. We've got the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. Okay. Excuse me. So the Sun card is all about the solar light. That's one of the ways that the reading is giving you to deal with this part of the ego. Again, you don't want to feel bad about having the King of Swords come up. You want to feel good about having the King of Swords come up, because once it comes up, then it can be healed. One of the ways that you can heal it is by working with that solar light. When you work with that solar light, everything has to rearrange, because the soul has its own design, has its own part in the divine design of the world, and it's always perfect. So when your soul is in charge of things work out beautifully, because they're designed to work out beautifully. The soul or the divine design does not include the King of Swords. The King of Swords is the opposite. The King of Swords wants to put a wrench in the divine design. That's what it's there for. Why is that? Just because we got in a habit of using our minds that way. It's not something that was designed to like test us or any of that. It's just that we got into a bad habit of using our minds in a certain way, and that created this ego mind. And so when you align yourself with that solar light, you're aligning yourself with the truth, with the divine, and with the design that is the will of the universe for you to succeed, to be happy, and all of those wonderful things. And it doesn't include any of these thought forms. And so what you have to do when you're working with that solar light is to allow the solar light to do its thing, where you can just let go. You can let go of all of those parts of yourself. And now the ego is going to scream and yell at you. No, it's not safe to let go of your ego. No, you don't want to do that, because then, all will be chaos. And you have to remind yourself it already is chaos. When I let the solar light through and I let go of my attachment to my ego, the chaos ends, and everything will be love. Everything will be success. Everything will be perfect. And that's what this here is. This 9 of Cups is that highly satisfying experience when you recognize that you didn't have to follow the path of that tension-filled part of the mind that's always trying to get you into a conflict, either with yourself or with somebody else, with the news on the TV, whatever it is. There's always that sort of mean-spirited part of the human consciousness that is not part of you. It doesn't belong to you. And so it's so easy for you to let it go once you recognize that solar light has the divine design of your life, and this doesn't. The ego doesn't. All right, so then we've got this 10 of Wands. Now, the 10 of Wands is a burden. And that's one thing that this King of Swords loves. It loves for you to be burdened, because then it can give you another reason why to be mad, why to be upset, why you should be involved with this sort of mean-spiritedness that is part of what the King of Swords is all about. So when you're feeling burdened, it's your responsibility to surrender the burden. You don't just shoulder the burden. That's where we get upset. We think it's that we're being so, we've got some sort of virtue in shouldering so much burden. Look how virtuous I am. I can take so much. I can take so much burden. You're under the spell of the King of Swords when you do that. It's your responsibility not to shoulder the burden. Your responsibility is to cast the burden. So when you're feeling burdened, remind yourself, no, I cast this burden on the infinite intelligence that is within me, and I go free. Because you don't want to manifest burden. This moon card is all about manifesting what's in the depths of your mind. You want to manifest what the solar light has for you, not what the ego has for you. And one of the ways that you can tell which way you're moving is by how you're feeling. If you're feeling tense, if you're feeling burdened, if you're feeling upset, you know which way the wind is blowing. And you can change that in a heartbeat by listening again to this inner guidance, calling on that solar light and making a new choice. And then once you start feeling that peace, and you start feeling that happiness and that joy, then you are it's like a barometer. It's like a gauge. You know, oh, okay, now I see what's going to be manifesting. So you want to be very clear on what you're feeling and the energy you're holding in your body, because that energy is showing you what the direction is of the manifestation, where things are moving. And so that's why we were saying before, if you can cut that out before it starts moving into form, you save yourself so much time and trouble. And you don't have to, then you don't have to eliminate negative manifestations. You don't have to banish things as much. What you have instead is this, like I said before, this sort of spiritual mastery where you say, oh, I see where I'm headed. I don't want to head that. I don't want to head there. So I'm going to listen to this inner guidance. I'm going to call in that solar light, and I'm going to recalibrate. And once you feel those good emotions, those peaceful emotions, those happy, pleasant emotions, then you know where your manifestations are headed. Hopefully that makes sense. I have a meditation for this moon card. I have a solar light meditation, and I also have a meditation for this hermit card. And you can find all of those meditations by going to my website, and the link to all of those meditations on my website is right in the video description of this video on YouTube. So if you want some meditations, they're right in there for you. That solar light meditation is something that would be good for you to do daily for these next couple of weeks, just to keep yourself on the right beam. But then these other two meditations for the hermit card and for the moon card might be something also that would be good for you to help optimize all of the wonderfulness of this reading. And it is a wonderful reading, and it looks like you're really doing very well, Scorpio. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. We'll see all you Scorpios in another couple weeks. Until then, blessed be.